We are learning heartbreaking new details tonight about a mother accused of the unimaginable, shooting her 4 children and killing 2 of them.
This is a previous mugshot you're looking at of Oninda Romelus. Tonight, court documents revealing what she told deputies from behind bars. Anieli Ruiz is following the story. And Anieli, I know you spoke to the suspect's father tonight.
I spoke with her father briefly over the phone. He says they're still trying to make sense of it all. They had just moved to Texas in May without any family here. Investigators say she drove nearly an hour from her home in Porter to this gas station in Angleton and then called 911.
We need multiple ambulances.
You can hear the officers' urgency as they uncover a tragic scene. 13-year-old Okero Covington had been killed, and 3-year-old Amara Chappelle also died in the back seat.
We're doing first aid. We're doing everything we can.
Officers rushed to help the 2 surviving children, 9-year-old Kyle Romelus and 8-year-old Traviel Donner. Both were airlifted to Memorial Hermann Hospital fighting for their lives.
On October 4th, 2025, just before 5 a.m., a woman drove her 4 children an hour away from home in the middle of the night. She stops at a gas station and pumps gas. Minutes later, she calls 911. When deputies arrive, they find all 4 children shot, with 2 already gone. That woman, she was their mother. But why would a mother harm her own children? Before we get too deep, hit the like button, share your take in the comment, and tap subscribe with the bell so you never miss the next episode of Deranged Women. Oninda Romelus was a 31-year-old mother, born on June 18, 1994. She was originally from Haiti. Eventually, she settled in Atlanta, Georgia, where she lived for years. He seemed like she was trying to build a life. But chaos followed her everywhere. In 2013, she appeared on a television show called Paternity Court. And she had a problem. She had a son about 18 months old at the time, and she didn't know who the father was. That day, she brought 2 men she thought could be the father to that courtroom. And both of them were equally possible because she'd been sleeping with both of them around the same time. We're talking about maybe a 2-week window here. The first man was Dwayne Seymour, her fiancé of 4 years. The second man was Jeremy Covington. She called him a mutual friend. According to Oninda, Dwayne cheated on her, but Dwayne denied it ever happened. But Oninda didn't care about the truth. She wanted revenge, so according to her own account in that courtroom, she slept with Jeremy. Then she got pregnant. When it was time to give birth, she put Jeremy's name on the birth certificate. When the judge opened the DNA results, neither Dwayne Seymour nor Jeremy Covington was the father. This meant that there was a third man, a mystery man who got her pregnant and disappeared. Life went on in Atlanta, and she had 3 more children with different fathers. In 2022, she had a run-in with the law herself. Got arrested in Fayette County, Georgia. Somewhere along the way, Oninda also had contact with Child Protective Services. The details of that case are confidential, but CPS had been involved with her family at least once before. And still she maintained custody. By 2025, Oninda decided she needed a fresh start. She packed up with her 4 children and moved from Georgia to Texas. Ended up in Montgomery County in a quiet town called Porter. She'd only been living there a few months. The oldest was 13-year-old Okero, the boy she took to the paternity court. Then there was 9-year-old Kylie, 8-year-old Traviel, and the youngest was 3-year-old Amara. While she was in Texas, Oninda presented herself as a businesswoman. She ran a tax preparation service called OKT Tax Preparation. She posted about it regularly and had promotional material. She made it look completely professional. But at the same time, Oninda was living a whole other life online. Her social media barely showed any posts featuring her 4 children. No birthday celebrations or first day of school photos. She was the type to go out, take mirror selfies, photos at the club, and designer bags. In her bio, she wrote, "Tried to be a law-abiding citizen, it doesn't fit me. I like fast money. Catch me somewhere on the road, running and chasing a check." On September 27, 2025, she wrote this, "'Cause what it really do? You're not a bad person if you're a terrible mother. To all my mamas handling business and did handle business this week, baby go to happy hour. Forget them kids." A mother of 4 children publicly posting that. Her followers normalized it like it was supposed to be funny. But Oninda wasn't joking. Around 2:30 in the morning on October 4, 2025, she and her 4 children got into her car and she started driving. Just before 5 a.m., Oninda pulled into a Shell gas station off Highway 288 in Angleton. Surveillance footage from the gas station showed her getting out of the white Audi. She walked to the gas pump, where she appeared to be talking on her phone. She walked back to her car, stopped to look in the rear window, and got back into the driver's seat. At 4:48 a.m., a call came into the Brazoria County Sheriff's Office. The caller was Oninda Romelus, and she told the dispatcher to come to her location. Deputies reportedly had no idea what they were responding to. When they arrived, they found a white vehicle parked at a gas pump. The engine was still running and all 4 doors were open. Oninda was standing outside the vehicle. Inside the car, deputies reportedly saw a white sheet covering a child lying on the ground behind the vehicle. Another child was also found covered with a white sheet on the passenger side between the car and the gas pump. Deputies immediately started trying to render aid. They called for medical assistance. And that's when they realized there were more children inside. In the front passenger seat, they found 13-year-old Ocario slumped over. They tried to help him, but he was already gone. In the back seat, 3-year-old Amar was also gone. Deputies worked fast. 8-year-old Trivial and 9-year-old Kylie were airlifted to Memorial Hermann Hospital in Houston. When deputies first tried to talk to her, she started backing away. That's when they detained her and started asking questions. But Oninda wasn't making sense. She was reportedly described as alert and aware, but her words weren't coherent. She kept looking around and acting paranoid. They read her Miranda rights and asked if she wanted to continue speaking. She said yes. So investigators asked her why she called 911. At first she said she just couldn't talk about it. But they kept asking. So she responded by allegedly saying that, "Instead of them doing it to me, I'm gonna do it to them." The investigator asked, "Do what?" And Oninda reportedly said, "Hurt them all." But then she allegedly said something else. She said she didn't call 911, that she called the devil. When the investigator asked her where her children were, she said they were with the devil. The investigator asked what she meant by that. And she allegedly said, "They're gone. 'Cause you can't take me without me taking you." Multiple weapons were found with Oninda. Deputies took her into custody right there at that gas station. She was transported to the Brazoria County Jail. And later that day she was formally charged. 2 counts of first-degree charges. 1 for Ocario and 1 for Amara. She was also charged with 2 counts of assault for Trivial and Kylie. Her bond was set at $5 million for each charge and $2 million for each assault charge. A total of $14 million. Surveillance cameras from a home across the street reportedly captured multiple people leaving Oninda's home. Some of them were small in stature, consistent with children. They got into a car next to the Tesla that was parked in her driveway at 2:30 in the morning and they drove away. The drive from Porter to Angleton is about an hour, and investigators believe the shooting incident occurred somewhere during that drive. The sheriff confirmed what everyone already suspected. The evidence showed this happened inside the vehicle and the mother was responsible. But there was still so much that didn't make sense. Why did she drive an hour away? What happened between Friday night and Saturday morning? What was the motive? Investigators started working to gain more information. Montgomery County Sheriff Wesley Doolittle assisted with the investigation since Oninda's residence was in his jurisdiction. Deputies went to that house on Spear Valley Lane. They were there for 12 hours going through everything, taking photos and collecting evidence. They towed a car from the driveway. And that's when they found the identity theft operation. The fake IDs, the social security cards, the blank checks. All of it. Reportedly, they found more than 30 social security cards, 30 fake IDs, 15 credit cards, 15 packages of blank checks, computers, laptops, printers, passports, phones, and treasury checks addressed to that location with different names on them. Some of those IDs allegedly had different names with Oninda's photo, while some had her name with different photos. They were in various stages of being made. There was an office inside the home with shipping labels and all the equipment to manufacture these documents. Her friends started posting online, insisting that she was a legitimate tax preparer, that maybe there was an explanation. Back in April 2024, she had even posted accusing another tax preparer of fraud, claimed she was owed over $80,000 in prep fees. But there's no legitimate explanation for dozens of fake IDs in various stages of production. Neighbors started talking to reporters. That's when the story about the kids being seen on Friday came out.
We didn't know anything about the lady, but as for the 13-year-old boy and then his little sister, he was very sweet. We would see him in the afternoons because we would sit out in the afternoon, and we would see him going to get her from the daycare and bringing her back and taking care of her. We didn't know anything about the other two kids, and when we heard it, I couldn't believe it, and I'm still in shock.
Some neighbors reportedly said they never spoke to Oninda, but that they usually saw the kids, describing Ocario as sweet. They'd see him in the afternoons going to pick up his little sister from daycare and bringing her back home, taking care of her and being a big brother. A neighbor saw them on October 3, 2025. The kids were outside walking, smiling. She figured she'd see them again, but she never did. Deputies initially went to the house looking for a reported 17-year-old, a fifth child who was supposedly unaccounted for. But family members said they had no idea where that information came from. There were only 4 children. The 17-year-old reportedly didn't exist. Back in December 2024, Oninda made a post where she wrote, "This past week, the devil has sent his minions to irritate and annoy me. I'm just glad I ignored them because the way I'm heading, it's jail or somewhere else. Thankful I've made it this far." She'd also posted about a spring break trip with her kids. She posted a photo of a drink with a caption that said, "I had to soon as I got off the flight because these kids ain't worth nothing." In June 2025, on her birthday, she posted about stepping into a new chapter. She called it her peace and soft girl era. Said her life was a reflection of God's goodness and mercy. But less than 4 months later, 2 of her children were gone because of the choices she made. The Texas Department of Family and Protective Services got involved. They confirmed they'd had one prior interaction with Oninda, but the details were confidential. They said they were investigating this incident and making sure the safety and well-being of the surviving children was their first priority. What could have pushed a mother to do this? Her posts often reflected a woman who was tired of being a mom. She wanted to always put herself first and saw her children as obstacles. He felt like they were holding her back from the life she wanted to live. From the happy hours, the freedom, and the image she was trying to project online. She didn't even know the fathers of some of her children, and according to reports, at least one of those fathers was convicted and sent to prison. Another one of the fathers was arrested and charged with first-degree charges. And that mystery father from Paternity Court? Still unidentified to this day. This explains why she had sole custody. The fathers were incarcerated and absent. And at some point she decided she was done. Instead of handing them over to protection services, she made that terrible decision. One of the children's grandfathers reportedly spoke to reporters. He confirmed that 3-year-old Amara was his granddaughter. He also said the 8-year-old boy was his grandchild.
She had a beautiful smile like her dad.
What was your reaction when you heard about her death?
I started crying immediately. That's my grandbaby.
Oninda was booked into Brazoria County Jail, where her mugshot was taken. She hasn't been officially charged with anything related to the fake IDs and fraudulent documents yet. But those charges would likely be added. The evidence in this case is overwhelming. Her own statements to investigators, the surviving children who witnessed what happened, the surveillance footage from the gas station, the social media posts. All of it points to one person. Her. So why did she do it? That's the question everyone wants answered. What makes a mother capable of this? Was it resentment that built up over years? Was it the stress of raising 4 children alone? Was it financial pressure from running an illegal operation? Was it a new relationship where someone didn't want to deal with her kids? Or was it just pure selfishness? Remember, danger can wear a friendly face. Stay aware, look out for others, and reach out if you need help. See you in the next case on Deranged Women. Thanks for watching.